What is up guys, Games of Bacon here, and today we're looking at the Arms Warrior in 6.2. So the first thing I want to talk about is where and when Arms is going to be viable, because it's never really been viable before in Wall of the Draenor, and it's probably something we should go over just to clarify a few things. So what makes Arms viable in 6.2 is the tier 18, and unless you have some tier 18, I really wouldn't recommend going Arms. First of all, the 2-piece, it means that our Mortal Strike can come off cooldown depending on our rend hits. It has a 50% chance, so it's a little bit of RNG, but we are warriors, so we're quite used to that. So the 2-piece means that we have really good cleave damage. It's going to mean more rend ticks, means we can have more Mortal Strikes, and also take Taste for Blood, you have more rage, meaning we can have sweeping strikes up constantly, and we can spam Whirlwind in between of it. So I'd only really recommend 2-piece for something like Zolorak, where there's lots of constantly a second mob up. Little mobs that die very quickly, I wouldn't recommend it, unfortunately. Moving on, we have the 4-piece. Now the 4-piece means that our rend deals damage 50% more often, so it's ticking faster and faster, and that's kind of silly when you consider that rend is like one of our most damaging abilities, just below sudden execute. So once you get your 4-piece, Mortal Strike comes off cooldown even again more and more often. So what we're going to want to do is, once you have your 4-piece, you're probably going to want to go Arms. You can simcraft yourself to make sure, but Arms is probably going to be best for you, especially at like the lower end of Hellfire Citadel. If you have 4-piece, Arms is going to be awesome. So 4-piece is really strong. Your Mortal Strike is going to be up again and again and again. You're probably going to be able to drop Thunderclap. You'll be whirlwinding maybe 2 or 3 times a minute. It's going to be very low. Obviously that's still to be determined. I only have the 2-piece currently, so I'm not 100% sure, but they say, you know, whirlwind's not going to be used very often at all. So once you get your 4-piece, it's going to be your straight single target damage, your best cleave damage. It's going to be seriously high numbers until you get to the right top end of the gear borders, and you're looking at Fury just overtaken slightly when you're in like full heroic and mythic gear. But again, there's still things going on. Arms might still work out better for you depending on how you play and depending on some of the fights. So we're still going to be changing talents depending on what fight we're doing. So the only other thing that really affects Arms is actually the class trinket. Unlike Fury, the class trinket for Arms is very good. So it allows our Colossus Smash to have a 32 or so % chance to come off cooldown per melee swing, which is very strong. So if you do have a chance to get the class trinket and you're playing Fury, but you're thinking, oh, I might switch to Arms, I would grab it up. You might not want it as Fury, even because it's not best in slot, but it absolutely is best in slot for Arms, so something to bear in mind. So I'm going to talk about the stat priorities, and they're very simple for Arms Warriors. The stat weights are just so skewed, it makes it very simple. The first thing we're going to want is crit. Crit is very high. It's nearly as high as strength on our priority list, so crit is fantastic. Mastery is just behind of it, not too far behind either. Mastery is very strong. It allows all of our main abilities to do more damage, and of course with the 4-piece, Mortal Strike coming off cooldown so much, that makes Mastery very strong indeed. Multi Strike and Haste are basically on par with each other, so it doesn't matter which you have. And then Versatility is absolute poop, so don't worry about versatility. So again, that's crit top, Mastery second, and then Multi Strike and Haste a third. So next I want to talk about the talents, and they're very simple, and as you can see up here I have the single cleave and the AoE abilities, and most of them overlap, so very easy. But anyway, you're going to want to go double time, that's just general, and rage regeneration is fairly general. You can go impending victory if you really want to, but that's up to you. Taste for Blood, the reason I've only put Taste for Blood in is because 2-piece, you want to go Taste for Blood, simply due to you're probably only going to be on cleave fights with it, and then with the 4-piece, Taste for Blood's going to be very strong because you're going to be getting a lot of rage from your rends ticking more often. So Taste for Blood's kind of default now due to the tier 18. Dragon Roar is both single target and AoE, so I mean Dragon Roar for me it's default. You can go Stormbolt if you really want to, for like a single target fight, but that's kind of your choice on that one. Vigilance, you know, use it on your tanks. Just use it. It's good. Avatar is going to be pure single target. It does add to the cleave damage as well, but generally Bloodbath is better because you don't have to worry about being in rage. If you hit them with a Bloodbath once, they're going to take that damage over and over anyway, so it just works a little bit better for cleave. And then Bladestorm is pure AoE. You know, when you've got lots of little lads coming up, like Manoroth for example, they're all coming up, so you're going to be spinning around doing lots of damage. Anger Management is going to allow those abilities to come off cooldown more often, and Siegebreaker is still really good. It does a lot of damage and it can be very useful on the shorter fights, but of course again it's primarily single target, even though it does cleave with Sleeping Strikes. But anyway, so that's your talents for you guys. Just use them in a smart way depending on the fight and you should be absolutely fine. So the very last thing I want to go over with you guys is the rotation and how it's going to be different depending on your 2-piece and 4-piece. Now, the difference isn't huge between 2-piece and 4-piece, it's just that Mortal Strike is going to be up more often. However, the difference between having no piece and 2-piece tier 18 is very, very large, and you shall see that right now. So we're going to do our normal thing. We're going to charge in, we're going to rend, and we're going to apply rend to the target. We're going to Colossus Smash, and we're going to Mortal Strike. And what you should see is Mortal Strike's off cooldown. We're going to Whirlwind, Mortal Strike's off cooldown. We're going to Whirlwind, Mortal Strike's off cooldown. Rend needs to go back up. It's got less than 5 seconds left. We're going to Mortal Strike. Mortal Strike's off cooldown again. Mortal Strike's off cooldown again. Now, this is the issue you're going to run into before you have 4-piece. I have straight up ran out of rage, and I cannot use my abilities even though they are off cooldown. Which is a bit, you know, sucks a little bit. It's not so bad during raid, but it does still happen. And this is where the 4-piece comes in. We're going to have so much more rage. Mortal Strike's going to be off cooldown even more than it already is, which is already ridiculous amounts anyway. And that's it. So, I mean, that really is the rotation though. Your Mortal Strike, you keep rend up, your Mortal Strike as much as possible, and then you apply fillers with either Thunderclap or Whirlwind. And that's it. And then we Colossus Smash on cooldown. And we keep rend up. Anything under 5 seconds, rend needs to be reapplied. You still get the big damage bonus, so don't worry about losing that. You don't have to let rend fall off. And then, yeah, so rend is under 5 seconds. We're going to hit rend. We're going to Colossus Smash. We're going to Mortal Strike. And that's it. You just smash buttons, whatever's lit up. Mortal Strike first, Colossus Smash, and then filler. Now, it gets really interesting when you have the cleave, as I was saying. Like, I have 2-piece, cleave is where it comes in. So we're going to rend all the targets. We're going to attack our primary target, we're going to Colossus Smash, and we're going to Mortal Strike. And we're just going to filler. Mortal Strike's up, Mortal Strike's up. We're going to filler, Mortal Strike's up. We're going to keep rend up, we're going to reapply rend to all 3 targets. And we're going to Mortal Strike. We're going to Mortal Strike. We're going to Dragon Roar. Colossus Smash is up, we're going to Colossus Smash. We're going to keep applying Mortal Strike as much as we can. Now remember, it's multiplicative, so we have rend up 3 times, meaning we're going to get Mortal Strike even more. It's going to be 3 times more, 3 times the chance that Mortal Strike is off cooldown. So Mortal Strike is even more. This is why 2-piece is only really very viable when we have multiple targets up like Zularak. And having small targets that die, not really very useful. So yeah, that really is the whole rotation for you guys. It's very, very simple. You Colossus Smash and Mortal Strike, you keep a rend applied, and you filler. When you get your 4-piece, you'll find you won't need to fill as much. That's basically all there is to it. You can just Mortal Strike more often, and when you have your class trinket, you'll be able to Colossus Smash a lot more often as well. So the priority system doesn't change. The rotation only changes because like you're gonna have more things to press, like more of the higher end stuff to press. That's all it is. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. I'll just keep doing deeps.